What's up, everyone? Kevin Oak here, getting into another video. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to make a quick video, mainly talking about sumo and why I do sumo. Now, a lot of you may know that when I compete with a conventional stance. I pull more conventional. My max conventional is 820, although I should probably be good for a little more. Whereas my max sumo is 785. On conventional beltless, I've pulled 805 for a double now, whereas beltless sumo I've pulled like 770. So why do I mostly train sumo then if my conventional is better and stronger of the two? Well, for a lot of reasons. One, conventional for me tends to be more a display of strength as opposed to something that is a strength builder. So when I pull conventional, when I train conventional, for the most part, it doesn't actually feel like I'm getting stronger while I'm doing it. What it feels like is like I'm just displaying my strength. It's very natural for me, mostly because I was a runner I mean, that's part of it. It's not mostly why, but I was a runner and very used to being in that type of range of motion with my legs going, back and forth, straight forward, as opposed to having my hips like externally rotated. So I played a lot of basketball growing up. I was also a jumper. Well, I did track and fields. So conventional to me is pretty much just like jumping. It's very natural for me. It's not really hard for me to do. Not to say I'm great. I have great leverages for it because I don't necessarily. Um, I mean, in general, I'm probably alright, but compared to like your elite pullers, probably not the best conventional puller out there, but I'm alright. Um, but kind of getting back into conventional, what conventional is, as opposed to what I said with conventional, where conventional is a display of strength, conventional to me is not a display of strength, but it is a great strength builder and it is great at attacking my weaknesses. So, my biggest weaknesses being my hips in terms of tightness and strength, but mostly tightness. I tend to have external rotation programs. Like I said, because I did those sports where my legs were always in line, I was always going straight back and forth. I was always, you know what I mean? As a kid doing sports, I was never doing things where my hips were externally rotated. So I have very tight hips. When I do sumo, constantly getting into position, constantly working on positioning, forces me to work my external hip rotation, which in turn should keep my hips healthier. It helps my squat, etc. There's a lot of benefits for me working on external rotation of my hips. So that's a great benefit I get from sumo, which I don't really get from conventional. The other thing is glutes. I tend to have very tight glutes and somewhat weak glutes, relatively speaking, compared to like my strength. So when I'm doing sumo, pretty much there's no way to pull sumo anywhere near correctly without activating your glutes. So I can try to do a million exercises where I'm activating my glutes with mobility and this and that and the other thing, or I can just pull sumo from every set from warm up through my top set. I'm gonna be working my glutes, and it's impossible pretty much to not use your glutes during sumo. Whereas in conventional, a lot of times, if you're not activating your glutes properly, what will happen is you kind of just will have a soft lockout. You can use your back, you can use your quads, you can use other muscles to kind of get it almost all the way to lockout, and then you know what I mean. Like it's a lot easier to cheat your glutes out of the movement. In sumo, you can't cheat your glutes out. If you're not using your glutes, like that bar's not going anywhere. So there's that, and pretty much those are the main two reasons. Actually, there's a third. The third main reason why I pull sumo the majority of the time is because with conventional, it's extremely hard for me to get my pelvis neutral. Pelvis, lower back. I tend to have a posterior tilt in my pelvis, so pulling sumo it's a lot easier for me to keep my lower back neutral as opposed to conventional. So when I train conventional a lot, where I don't have my lower back in the best position, I get hurt a lot more often. If I pull sumo the majority of the time, my lower back tends to stay a lot healthier. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, well, just keep your back straight during conventional. Yeah, obviously, I'm not an idiot and I didn't start deadlifting yesterday. It's just one of those things where the length of my levers makes it extremely hard to get in a position where my back is straight, especially on conventional. I can tend to do it for singles if I really focus, and not that I can get it straight, but I can get it very close to neutral. But if I was in that same position for a lot of volume during a training cycle, it would be very detrimental. So those, for the most part, are the main three reasons why I tend to train more sumo than conventional. But here I threw in some inverse curls. These have worked very well for me actually for my lower hamstrings. When I do hamstring curls, it tends to work my upper hamstrings. I'm sure some of you may know the specific terms of those muscle groups, but those inverse curls have helped me substantially. There's something that I constantly keep. I try to do at least once a week. And yeah, since I've done them, I haven't gotten in a lot of the hamstring issues I used to get, so I'm happy. These are just some reverse hypers. I don't go heavy on these. I do them very light. I focus on actually getting through lockout to 180 degrees and working on squeezing and activating my glutes. So that's that. That is why I pull sumo. Until next time.